Okay, so I just had this awakening. I was talking to my dad earlier, and instead of getting in an argument, we got into more of a debate. And I was kind of talking about how, like, people that are really rich, like the really rich people, like the one percenters or near there, are like the cancerous tumors, where they're like the king on top of the hill that like hog all the nutrients, have more than they need. And my dad was explaining how my dad got into explaining how cancer is actually treated in today's society with radiation. And why radiation works is because cancer cells are reproducing at a more rapid rate, which makes them more vulnerable to radiation, because the radiation then destroys the reproduction of the cancerous tumors and hopefully brings the tumor into remission. But what it does is, when the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, goes through the process called mitosis, and they split, the strands of DNA split, right? Then the radiation, then it's vulnerable to radiation, and since they're reproducing so much faster and going through mitosis, then it'll kill the cancerous cells and the tumors. It'll kill the tumor. So it makes me think, like, I'm seeing this in several ways now, and they're all correct. So I'm going to explain as many as I can. All we need to do as a light worker, as a light being, or as a being in general, is radiate divine love. You don't even necessarily have to create acts. You don't have to. It's great to make loving choices, but if you radiate this divine love, and your radiation goes out into the world, then all of this old energy, or this power over others energy, will slowly die. Because if you radiate divine love, and then more people radiate divine love, because it is an electromagnetic energy that is more profound than most people think, and really does have an effect on people. So even if one person, like let's say Jesus, he brought in the whole Piscean age. He had a really strong aura, and he made a huge difference across the world just by being on one point in the world, because his aura was so strong, radiated so much divine love, that it affected people from around the world. But he brought in the whole Piscean age. There are so many of us right now that are bringing in the Aquarian age. And there's people out here, if not some people, maybe people that are radiating more divine love that the world could handle back then. So there are people radiating as much divine love as Jesus was, to bring in this Aquarian age. So as more people radiate this divine love, it'll kill the cancers of humanity, which is these things of greed, these things of power over other, all diseases that are cancerous in a way. Or you even look at autoimmune diseases, where autoimmune disease is when cells that are the same cells attack each other, or like cells within your body start attacking each other. It's like if you look at humanity at large as one living body, one organism, in each human, each person, a cell, and then they start attacking each other in war and killing each other. That's called autoimmune disease when you look at it on the microcosmic level within the human body. So if you look at it macrocosmically, it's just a reflection of as within, as without. So if people radiate divine love, and more people are each day, and I'm sure you can feel it if you're watching this video. And I'm going to kind of say again that my dad saying how the radiation treatments kill the cancer cells because they are reproducing at a rapid rate. So you think of like, big corporations, like they grow really fast because they have money, because our world is really driven on money. But if we're radiating divine love on money, and there's nothing wrong with money, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just people's idea about it. They get too caught up in their head because the money is not what people want. No, they want the things that money gets them, like food. You can't eat money. This is kind of an old hippie-ish kind of thing, and I'm not trying to be a hippie about money. I think it's just been really misunderstood. Like, yeah, you can't eat money. You would need food. You would need land to grow food. You would need livestock, right? But money's a great thing because it's symbolic for our exchange. It's an exchange system, and we're due for a new exchange system because our energy has shifted so much, so drastically, that our economies are like collapsing and changing, and there's all this off balance. Like America's in debt. A lot of countries are in debt. The wealth is back into the Middle East. I think Saudi Arabia is probably the richest country in the world because of oil, which is ironic because a lot of the owners of the oil companies, and this is an assumption, I could be incorrect, are Americans. But I'm just kind of throwing that idea out there. But if we radiate divine love, then that'll die. Those tumors and all those cancerous cells, they'll die because they're reproducing at such a rapid rate and growing so fast. Like look at oil. They're running all these pipelines. There's so much finance, so much money, and it's this explosion in these companies and this bullshit and all this unnecessary stuff. Like, we don't need more fossil fuels. We don't need more of those types of cars. No, we need better technology that is better for the environment, that is faster transportation, safer transportation. And I know that progress has been slowed on our transportation because of fossil fuel. Because I'm doing all this on this computer, cell phone, that I can do so much with, and yet we're still using the same internal combustion engine for over 100 years. So that is kind of fucked up. Now you kind of start to see the suppression that money and greed does for people. Is they just want that power over. I mean, those kind of people that want greed want power over other people. That's what money gets them. For people like you and me, money gets us food. Money gets us to buy a nice house, to travel. I mean, those are just kind of my ideas right now at this moment of what money means to me. It'd be nice to have a good apartment. I don't even really want a house. It'd be nice to have money to buy some land and to build like an earth home. That's something I kind of want to do, is build an earth home. I'm just like okay with money, and I want people to be okay with money. I know, especially in the spiritual community, a lot of people get frustrated with money because a lot of us go through like this poverty form of consciousness, and it's just like, that's okay. I take it as a gift, and I welcome and embrace everything with open arms. So I encourage everyone to do that. So it's like radiating divine love is the key here, is the goal. And when you do that, your radiation of divine love will destroy the cancerous tumors of humanity that are growing too fast, that are growing faster than the other cells. They make themselves vulnerable to your radiation of love because they are growing faster than the other cells. Which is just kind of life's way of saying, hey, Slow down. If you don't listen, love will come catch up to you and put a stop to your reckless endeavors and selfish behavior. Because all life, it's about everything working together. It's not just about a select few of people. It's not about that. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That is the old Star Trek kind of saying, but it is also true. And hey, maybe this kind of goes along the lines of like the president, right? Where, well, not to say that the president's more important than any other people, but to bring out this idea, because I don't think that's necessarily true, but just to bring out this idea. Fuck, I ain't gonna say that idea. That's fucked up. Everyone is just as important as everyone else. Everyone truly is. You know, everyone truly is. But to look at it from a survivalistic point of view, say the guy that is 99 years old, and I'll make this drastic just for a quick understanding. 99 years old that is on his deathbed, and there's a 10-year-old kid. Let's give the 99-year-old man all this medical treatment and waste all this time and money and make money off of him instead of putting that money to donations to cure leukemia so this 10-year-old boy can survive and bring wonderful gifts for his long life ahead of him. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.